Melbourne Park just witnessed something no one believed possible. The tennis world was just flipped completely upside down. And this time, it wasn't by Djokovic. It wasn't Sabalenka. It was by a 20-year-old girl from the Philippines that most people haven't even heard of yet. Alexandra Eala, world number 43. And she just did something that even the top superstars can't pull off. Listen to this. Alex's pre-tournament press conference on the official Australian Open YouTube channel hit 171,000 views. That's right, 171,000. That is double the views of Djokovic, the man who has dominated men's tennis for a decade. It's far beyond Sabalenka, the defending champion fighting for her title. Do you understand what this means? A player ranked 43rd who has never won a Grand Slam is pulling more views than the living legends of the sport. But this isn't just about numbers. Listen to what's happening on the ground. Court 6, a tiny court at Melbourne Park, has turned into a miniature version of Manila. Thousands of people lined up hours before the match. Hundreds were turned away because there was no room left. And they didn't go home. They stayed. They stood outside the gates just to watch on the big screens. Philippine flags are waving everywhere. The screams and cheers from the crowd are making the entire venue shake. This is undeniable proof. Alex Eala is not just a rising player. She is a global phenomenon dominating every conversation. On social media, engagement is absolutely exploding. Her follower count is skyrocketing at an unprecedented rate. Even neutral observers are claiming that Alex Eala might be the most beloved female player today. She has bypassed the rankings, proving that talent from the Philippines can overshadow top seeds when it comes to true influence. So the question is this pure jealousy from the established stars? Or are we witnessing a true shift in the cultural power of tennis? And before you think, hey, this is just temporary hype, wait. Because what I'm about to reveal will prove this isn't luck. This is the start of a brand new era. Stay with Pro Tennis 360, where we take you inside the stories the mainstream media is afraid to tell. Hit subscribe now so you don't miss our exclusive analysis. Number breakdown plus credibility anchors, 2 to 4 o'clock. Headline, 171,000 views. These numbers are breaking all the old rules. Let's stop for a second. Because this number, 171,000, isn't just a random statistic. It is evidence of a revolution happening right before our eyes. To understand the true scale, let's break this down. Novak Djokovic, 24 Grand Slams. Arguably the greatest of all time. His press conference? Around 85,000 views. That is half of Alex's. Aryna Sabalenka, defending Australian Open champion. World top 3. Her press conference? Even lower. Around 70,000 views. Alex Eala, ranked 43rd. Never made it past the third round of a Grand Slam. 171,000 views. Do you see the issue here? This number is the complete opposite of conventional tennis logic. But here is what makes it even crazier. These numbers aren't from bots. They aren't from algorithms. They are from real human beings, tens of thousands of them, actively searching for Alex Eala content. Let me put this in context. There are about 130 female players at the Australian Open. Every single one has a press conference. And out of all of them, including reigning champions and global icons, a 20-year-old girl from the Philippines is pulling double the views of everyone else. Here is why these numbers actually matter. In the digital age, views aren't just vanity metrics. They are real money, real attention, global influence. Sponsors don't pay for rankings, they pay for reach. And right now, Alex's reach is surpassing those who are supposed to be bigger than her. I've spoken with sports brand analysts. They are in total shock. One told me, "We've never seen this happen. Usually you build the trophies first, then you get the influence. Alex is doing it in reverse." And perhaps that's the key. Alex isn't following the traditional script. She's rewriting it entirely. But why? Why is a player ranked 43rd attracting this kind of attention? To answer that, we need to go to Court 6. Court 6 is no longer a tennis court. It's become a movement. This is where the story gets completely wild. Court 6 at Melbourne Park is usually a side court, a small court, the place where lower-ranked players play their opening rounds. No big TV cameras, no media attention, just a regular court. But when Eala steps on, everything changes. Thousands of people in line. You heard that right, thousands. Since before dawn. People arriving at 4 a.m. just to ensure they have a seat. The court only holds about 3,000 people. But the number of people who wanted in, double that, maybe triple. The organizers had to close the gates. They were at total capacity. And here is what surprised me most. The people who didn't get in, they didn't leave. They stood outside the fences, watching on the big screens placed around the venue. Hundreds of them, just standing there, cheering every point as if they were right inside the stadium. I spoke to a fan who flew in from Manila. She said, "I missed out on getting inside, but I couldn't miss being here. This isn't just a match. This is history. History." That's her word, not mine. Philippine flags everywhere. Red, white, blue, and yellow waving from every corner. The chants, the cheers, the drums. The energy is unlike anything I've ever seen at a tennis court. A veteran tennis commentator told me, "I've covered 30 Australian Opens. I've never seen this. Not even with Federer, Nadal, or Williams. This energy is different. It's cultural." And that is exactly the point. These aren't just regular tennis fans coming to see a good match. This is an entire community, an entire nation, rallying to witness their rise. Every point Alex scores, all of court 6 shakes. Literally, you can feel the vibrations under your feet. The screams are so loud that opponents have to stop and wait for silence. Tennis has a problem. It's aging. The audience is getting older. The sport needs new blood, new energy. And Eala is bringing exactly that. But the question remains, why her? Why now? This isn't about tennis. It's about something much deeper. All right, let's stop and really think about what's happening here. Eala is not the best player in the world. She's not the highest ranked. She isn't even a seed at this tournament. So why does she draw more attention than the bigger stars? Let me decode this for you. This isn't about skill. This is about connection. Look at Djokovic. Great. Legend. But when he speaks, what do you see? A professional athlete fulfilling his media obligations. Trained. Controlled. Perfect. Now look at Alex. When she speaks, you don't just see an athlete. You see a representative. An icon. Someone carrying the hopes and dreams of millions. This is what traditional sports analysts don't get. They look at rankings. They look at stats. They miss the whole picture. The Philippines has a population of over 100 million. Add another 10 million in the global diaspora. That's 110 million people looking for someone to believe in, someone to cheer for, someone to represent them on the world stage. And in tennis, a sport often dominated by wealthy nations, elite academies, and privileged families, suddenly there's a young girl from the Philippines doing it. This is where the comparison to Manny Pacquiao makes total sense. Pacquiao wasn't just a great boxer. He was national hope. Every time he fought, the Philippines stopped. Crime rates dropped. Everyone gathered. Because it wasn't just a fight, it was pride. And now, with Alex, the same thing is happening in tennis. But here is what makes it even more powerful. Pacquiao was a man in a male-dominated sport. Alex is a young woman in a global sport. She represents a new generation, a new kind of hero. For decades, tennis operated on a simple formula. Win big, get famous, earn sponsorships. In that order. Always. Alex is breaking that formula. She has the fame first, the cultural connection first, the global influence first. And now, with that foundation, she is building her athletic legacy. Analysts don't know what to do with her because she doesn't fit the mold. She is something new. Eala isn't a player. She's a cultural movement. Let me make one thing clear. This isn't about tennis anymore. This is about representation. about recognition, about millions of people finally seeing themselves on the global stage. Think about it. For how many decades has tennis been a sport of the wealthy, white, European, and North American? Even when talent from other countries appeared, Japan, China, India, they were often treated as exceptions. Feel-good stories. Overcoming adversity stories. But with Alex, it's different. The Filipino diaspora is one of the largest and most dynamic in the world. Millions living in the US, Canada, Australia, Europe, and the Middle East. Working, building lives, sending money home, staying connected. And suddenly, someone from the Philippines isn't just participating. She's dominating the culture. A fan from Dubai tweeted, "I've lived abroad for 15 years. For the first time, I feel proud to say I'm from the Philippines when talking about sports." Alex is doing that. Read that again. For the first time, I feel proud. It's not about winning. It's about being seen. About knowing that someone like you can stand on the biggest stages in the world and belong there. When Pacquiao fought, crime in Manila dropped to nearly zero. They joked you could leave your doors unlocked because even the thieves were watching Manny. That's not a myth. It's a measurable fact. Now, with Alex, the same thing is happening. Her matches are broadcast on public screens. Families postpone plans. Friends wake up at 3 a.m. to watch live. Because this is a national event. Alex is about grace, about strategy, about a young woman navigating a global world with intelligence and skill. She represents a shift from we are trying to belong to we already belong. That is a psychological leap. That's why Court 6 feels different. Why the energy is different. This isn't asking for permission. This is a declaration. The internet is going absolutely crazy over Alex Eala. Alright, now let's talk about what's happening online. Because this is where the story gets even crazier. Within 48 hours of Alex's press conference, her Instagram followers increased by 127,000. In 2 days. That is a growth rate that takes other players years to achieve. She did it in a weekend. On Twitter, every 30 seconds, there is a new tweet about her. The hashtag Eala Era is trending in 14 countries. Not just the Philippines, but Australia, the US, Canada, UAE, and Singapore. TikTok? Don't even get me started. Clips of Alex have accumulated over 50 million views. For comparison, clips of last year's Australian Open Women's final had about 30 million. She hasn't even made the third round yet, and she's already outperforming the champions in digital engagement. People aren't just liking and sharing. They are creating content, memes, compilations, fan art, tactical analysis, inspiration posts. I saw a TikTok of a young girl from Manila crying while watching Alex win her first point. That video has 8 million views. The comments are full of similar stories. People connecting through a shared experience. Sports marketers would kill for this. Real engagement. Emotional connection. A self-organizing community around an athlete. A BBC tennis reporter tweeted, "In 20 years of covering tennis, I've never seen anything like the Eala phenomenon. This isn't about tennis. This is a cultural movement." An ESPN commentator said, "Alex Eala might be the most watched player on the women's tour right now. Not the highest ranked. The most watched." Let that sink in. Attention equals leverage. Leverage equals opportunity. Opportunity equals power. Sponsors are noticing. Believe me, a sports marketing executive told me off the record, if I had to choose between Alex at 43 and most players in the top 20, I'd choose Alex. Her reach is much wider. But all this attention and pressure could crush someone, especially a 20-year-old. But how is Alex handling it? With incredible composure. In every interview, she is humble, grateful, and focused. She isn't letting the hype go to her head. She's just doing the work. But not everyone is happy about this. The established stars are silent, and that silence speaks volumes. This is where the story gets really interesting. While the whole world is talking about Alex, there is a group of people saying nothing at all. And their silence speaks louder than any words. The higher-ranked players, the established stars, The people who are supposed to be the focus of the Australian Open. Most of them haven't said a word about the Eala phenomenon. No congratulatory tweets. No great to see tennis growing in new markets. Nothing. Maybe they're just focusing on their own game. Or maybe, just maybe, they are a little uncomfortable with what's happening. Think about it. You are a top 20 player. You've worked hard your whole life. You've won big tournaments. You've paid your dues. And now, a player ranked 43 is getting double your views? That has to sting a little. It's about the realization that the rules are changing. That rankings aren't everything anymore. That cultural connection and digital reach are becoming as important as trophies. And if you've built your career on the old model, that has to be scary. Especially for someone like Sabalenka. She's the champion. This is her moment. Except no one is talking about her. They are talking about Alex. A sports psychology analyst explained it to me. Elite athletes are driven by recognition. When they see that recognition going to someone else, especially someone undeserving by traditional standards, it causes cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. That's a fancy way of saying it makes them uncomfortable. Some players have made subtle comments about hype in modern tennis, or how social media is changing the sport. One player, I won't name her, said in a press conference, "I focus on tennis, not drama." Some people might prioritize differently. Drama. She called it drama. But Alex isn't creating drama. She's playing tennis. The difference? People actually care when she does it. It's not her fault she brought a global fan base with her. You can't hire a PR agency to create what she has. You either have it or you don't. And Alex has it. This isn't just about Alex Eala. It's about the future of tennis. Let's zoom out. The Eala phenomenon is about a massive shift in sports. Tennis has a problem it doesn't want to talk about. It's aging. The average age of a tennis viewer on TV in the US is 61. That's older than golf, older than baseball. Gen Z doesn't watch tennis on TV. They watch highlights on TikTok. They follow players on Instagram. They engage through digital platforms. And that requires a different kind of star. Not just someone good at tennis, but someone who can connect. Someone authentic. Someone with a story. Alex has all of that. For a century, tennis has been dominated by Europe and North America. Alex represents a different path. One where influence comes from cultural connection and community. Imagine a future where tennis isn't just about Wimbledon and the US Open. Where big tournaments in Manila, Dubai, and Singapore have the same cultural weight. Where sponsors target global communities rather than just traditional markets. A CEO of a major global sports company told me, off the record, the Eala phenomenon shows us there are massive untapped markets we've completely ignored. Hong Tai Nuoi, billions of dollars, just waiting for the right connection. A teacher from Manila emailed me. I have students, poor kids, who never thought they could do anything big. Now they see Alex, and they think differently. That is the power of representation. Alex is proving you don't need to come from an elite academy in Florida. You don't need a specific heritage. You just need talent, hard work, and the courage to believe you belong. When you succeed, you don't just open a door for yourself. You open it for millions of others behind you. The Eala era is just beginning, and no one is ready for what's coming. So what's next? One thing is for sure, this isn't the peak. It's just the beginning. Alex is 20. The peak for most female players is between 23 and 27. We haven't even seen Alex at her best yet. Not even close. Imagine if she hits the top 20, the top 10, if she wins a Grand Slam. If the phenomenon is this big at number 43, imagine it when she starts winning the big trophies. The industry is watching. I've heard from inside sources that at least 5 major global brands are actively pursuing deals with her. Nike, Adidas, Wilson, Rolex, Tag Heuer. But also lifestyle, tech, and beauty brands. Because she is a cultural icon. A sports sponsorship expert told me. I wouldn't be surprised to see Alex with sponsorship deals worth $20 to $30 million within the next 2 years. And that's not based on winning a slam. It's based on current reach. But with great opportunity comes great responsibility. Alex is carrying the expectations of a whole nation. Every loss is a collective disappointment. Every win is national joy. That is a lot of pressure for a 20-year-old. However, everything I've seen so far shows a level of maturity far beyond her years. She keeps her feet on the ground. She has a solid team. She knows this is a marathon, not a sprint. We could be looking at one of the greatest stories in tennis history, not just because of what she achieves on the court, but because of the doors she opens off it. The Eala Era is here, and this changes everything. So what have we learned? 171,000 views. Court 6 turning into Manila. Millions gathering around a 20-year-old girl. This isn't about tennis. It was never just about tennis. It's about seeing yourself represented. It's about believing you belong on the biggest stages. Alex Eala is proving that where you come from does not define where you can go. She is breaking the mold. And the truth? The tennis world needs that. We need new voices, new heroes. Is it jealousy from the old stars? Is it discomfort because the rules are changing? Maybe. But that isn't Alex's problem. It's theirs. Alex is just playing her game, living her truth, and the world is responding. The Eala Era isn't a marketing slogan. It's the recognition of a new reality. So, do you think the established stars are worried? Or do you think this is the natural evolution of tennis? Leave a comment below. I want to hear your take. And if you're here because you believe in telling real stories, the ones mainstream media is afraid to touch, then you need to be with us. Because this is what we do at Pro Tennis 360. We don't just report scores. We report the story behind the scores. The psychology, the power, the drama. We go deeper than anyone else dares to go. If that's the content you want, hit subscribe right now. Turn on notifications. Because we are just getting started. Next week, I'll reveal what inside sources are telling me about the reactions of other players to the Eala phenomenon. You won't want to miss it. Pro Tennis 360, where we tell the truth no one else dares to say. Subscribe now. Welcome to the new era of tennis. Alex Eala has arrived, and the world will never be the same. And this is Pro Tennis 360. See you in the next video.